WT slaying.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Shabbat Shalom. How y'all doing on this Sabbath day? So, family, we're going to talk about Jeremiah 50, and we're going to see how I think it's coming to pass right now. Like I said, eat the meat, spit out the bones. Am I right? I don't know. I'm just telling you what I see, right? So a lot of things been happening, family, a lot of things. And are we at the time of the judgment of Babylon? Is Babylon out of time? I believe from what I'm seeing, Babylon may just be out of time. If Babylon is out of time, then where's the second Exodus? Because we know when the second Exodus occurs. Why do we know? Because Jeremiah 50. There are so many signs happening right now that, okay, I could roll a dice. If I was to invest in this idea, I would invest in it because, I got inside information, look like, right? I mean, they could be playing us. They could be playing us because they do that, but I don't know. Let's look at Jeremiah before we look at the news. So we're going to Jeremiah chapter 50, and I'm going to bring up the NIV. Let me do something right quick before I do all that. Hold on one second. All right. That's how I'm used to flowing here. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go through Jeremiah 50. This is not going to be a long, well, I always say that, but hopefully this isn't going to be too long. I don't think it is. All right. So let's read this again. It says, this is the word of the Lord spoke through Jeremiah the prophet concerning Babylon and the land of the Babylonians. Let me reread that. This is the word of the Lord spoke through Jeremiah the prophet concerning America and the land of the Americans. I know some of you all don't agree that America's Babylon, but anyway. Verse 2, announce and proclaim among the nations. Lift up a banner and proclaim it. Keep nothing back, but say what? Say what? Babylon will be captured. Baal will be put to shame. Marduk filled with terror. Her images will be put to shame. Her idols filled with terror. What? A nation from the north will attack her and lay waste her land. No one will live in it. Both people and animals will what? Flee away. See, a lot of people talk about the flee doctrine, but a lot of people are going to have to flee. And the Bible talks about those who escape the sword are the ones who go into the promised land. Hopefully, by the grace of Yah, we're included in those who are able to flee or part of the second Exodus when it happens. All right, so verse 4. In those days and at that time, declares the Lord, the people of Israel and the people of Judah together will go in tears to seek the Lord their God. Hold on. At what time? At what time will the people of Israel and the people of Judah go in tears and seek the Lord? Well, at the time that the nation from the north will attack Babylon. So during the time that the nation from the north that's going to attack Babylon and lay her land waste, will the people of Israel and the people of Judah together go in tears to seek the Lord their God. So we got a timing here. They will ask what? The way to Zion and turn their faces toward it. They will come and bind themselves to the Lord in an everlasting covenant that will not be forgotten. At what time do the Israelites leave? Well, at the time that Babylon is being attacked. Verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have led them astray and caused them to roam on the mountains. They wandered over mountain and hill and forgot their own resting place. Verse 7, whoever found them devoured them. Their enemies said, we are not guilty, for they sinned against the Lord, their verdant pasture, the Lord, the hope of their ancestors. Verse 8, what? Flee out of Babylon. See, y'all tell me y'all not going to flee. Well, if I feel like I need to flee, I'm going to flee. Flee out of Babylon, leave the land of the Babylonians, and be like the goats that lead the flock. They will take up their positions against her, and from the north she will be captured. Their arrows will be like skilled warriors who do not return empty-handed. So America will be plundered. All who plunder her will have their fill, declares the Lord. I know I said America. It reads Babylon, but Babylon is America in this instance, in my opinion. Verse 11, because you rejoice and are glad, you who what? Pillage my inheritance. See, it's all about Israel. We told y'all, our daddy is coming to get us. Our father is coming to get us. Why? Because y'all been killing us. Y'all been treating us wrong. Because you frolic like a heifer threshing grain and neigh like stallions. Your mother will be greatly ashamed. She who gave birth will be disgraced. Can I rephrase that for you? Britain will be greatly ashamed. She who gave birth will be disgraced. Thank you, beautiful mind, for the gift. Britain, who's your mother, will be greatly ashamed. She who gave you birth will be disgraced. She will be the least of the nations, a wilderness, a dry land, a desert. Who's the least of the nations? America. America is going to be a dry land and a desert. We're seeing it already with the droughts, but we're going to even see as we go on that that's part of the prophecy of the time when she's invaded. There's going to be a drought on her waters. It is here. Verse 13, because of the Lord's anger, she will not be inhabited, but will be completely desolate. All who pass America will be appalled. They will scoff because of her wounds. Take up your positions around America, all you who draw the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord. Shout against her on every side. She surrenders, her towers fall. Her walls are torn down. Since this is the vengeance of the Lord, take vengeance on her. Do to her as she has done to others. Cut off from America the sower and the reaper and his sickle at harvest. Because of the sword of the oppressor, let everyone return to their own people. Let everyone flee to their own land. Israel is a scattered flock that lions have chased away. The first to devour them was the king of Assyria. The last to crush their bones was Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. Therefore, this is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says. I will punish the king of Babylon and his land as I punished the king of Assyria, but I will bring Israel what? Back to her own pasture. See the second Exodus. I will bring Israel back to their own pasture. When is the Most High going to bring us back to our own pasture? Well, during the time that Babylon is being attacked, during the time that Babylon is being invaded. But I will bring Israel back to their own pasture, and they will graze on Carmel and Bashan. Their appetite will be satisfied on the hills of Ephraim, Gilead. Thank you, Lashana, for the gift. In those days, at that time, declares the Lord, search will be made for Israel's guilt, but there will be none, and for the sins of Judah, but none will be found. For I will forgive the remnant I spare. See, there's a remnant that's going to be forgiven. There's a remnant that's going to be spared. Attack the land of the Maritime and those who live in Pekod. Pursue, kill, and completely destroy them, declares the Lord. Do everything I have commanded you. The noise of battle is in the land. See, there's battle coming in this land. The noise of great destruction, how broken and shattered is the hammer of the whole earth. How desolate is Babylon among the nations. What did the Most High do for Babylon, aka America? He set a trap. I set a trap for you, America, and you were caught before you knew it. I set a trap for you, Babylon, and you were caught before you knew it. You were found and captured because what? You opposed the Lord. The Lord has opened his arsenal and brought out the weapons of his wrath, for the sovereign Lord Almighty has work to do in the land of the Babylonians. Come out against her from afar, break open her granaries, pile her up like heaps of grain, completely destroy her and leave her no remnant. Kill all her young bulls, let them go down to the slaughter. Thank you, Brew Queen, for the gift. Woe to them, for their day has come, the time for them to be punished. Listen to the fugitives and refugees from Babylon declaring in Zion how the Lord our God has taken vengeance for his temple. So understand, we're going to be leaving before it's fully destroyed. Because see, here it says, listen to the fugitives. Let me rephrase that. Listen to the Israelites who just left and the refugees of America declaring in the land of Zion in Africa how the Lord our God has taken vengeance for his temple. Thank you, Dunel, for the gift. Summon archers against Babylon, all those who draw the bow. Encamp all around her, let no one escape. Repay her for her deeds. Do to her as she has done, for she has defied the Lord, the Holy One of Israel. Therefore, her young men will fall in the streets. All her soldiers will be silenced in that day, declares the Lord. See, I am against you, you arrogant one, declares the Lord Almighty, for your day has come, the time for you to be punished. The arrogant one will stumble and fall, and no one will help her up. I will kindle a fire in her towns that will consume all who are around her. This is what the Lord Almighty says. The people of Israel are what? Oppressed, and the people of Judah as well. Who? The people of Israel are oppressed. Thank you, Purity, for the gift. And the people of Judah as well. All their captors hold them fast, refusing to let them go. They don't want to give you reparations. They don't want to let you go. Why? Because they know so long as you here, they succeed. And they want to rule and replace you as God's chosen. They want your inheritance. They want Africa. They want your resources. They want your goods. They even want your identity. So the Most High says all their captors hold them fast, refusing to let them go. That's all of Israel, all over the globe. The U.S., the U.K., Brazil, the islands, all over the world. Yet their Redeemer is strong. The Lord Almighty is his name. He will vigorously defend their cause so that he may bring rest to their land, but unrest to those who live in Babylon. See the ones who hold us captive? The ones who talk about critical race theory, who hate the idea of critical race theory, who don't want to know the sins of their ancestors and their own. He's going to judge them. A sword against the Babylonians, declares the Lord, against those who live in Babylon and against her officials and wise men. A sword against her false prophets. See all them little false prophets out there, them false pastors, them 501c3 pastors out there. A sword against her false prophets. They will become fools. The sword against her warriors. They will be filled with terror. The sword against her horses and chariots and all the foreigners in her ranks. They will become weaklings. The sword against her treasures. They will be plundered. A drought on her waters. Is this not the time? America has huge droughts. I'm sorry. My brother got on me for saying that. He's saying, you ain't saying that right. You keep saying droughts. Okay, a drought. Is that better, Minister? Tell you, a drought. That's better, family. If it's better, say yes. A drought. A drought on her water. See, I'm telling you, this is America. This is the time. They will dry up. Go Google. Go Google the drought in America right now. Go Google it. They will dry up, for it is a land of idols, idols that will go mad with terror. So desert creatures and hyenas will live there, and there the owl will dwell. It will never again be inhabited or lived in from generation to generation. As I overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah along with their neighboring towns, declares the Lord, so no one will live there. No people will dwell in it. See, they didn't want to listen. We've been warning you, and I think the time is here. I ain't a prophet, but I'm just going to tell you what I see and share it with your family. Anyway, let's finish. Look, an army is coming from the north. A great nation and many kings are being stirred up from the ends of the earth. They are armed with bows and spears. They are cruel and without mercy. They sound like the roaring sea as they ride on their horses. They come like men in battle formation to attack you, the daughter of Babylon. See, this tells you it's not the original Babylon, because this is the daughter of Babylon. It's a descendant of the Babylonian Empire. It's a descendant of the Babylonian religion, aka America. Now, I hope YouTube don't be all rough with me. You know how they do. But anyway, the king of Babylon has heard reports about them, and his hands hang limp. Anguish has gripped him, pain like that of a woman in labor, like a lion coming up from Jordan's thickets to a rich pasture land. I will chase Babylon from its land in an instant. Who is the chosen one I will appoint for this? Who is like me and who can challenge me? And what shepherd can stand against me? Therefore, hear what the Lord has planned against Babylon, what he has purposed against the land of the Babylonians. The young of the flock will be dragged away. Their pasture will be appalled at their faith. At the sound of Babylon's capture, the earth will tremble. Its cry will resound among the nations. Go back and go read Revelations chapter 18, I believe it is. I could be wrong about that. I think it's chapter 18. Go back and see what happens when the people see the destruction of Babylon. They wail off the shores and they say, oh, this great Babylon was nothing like this. Everyone who had ships in the sea got rich by her. What we see here. And the sound of Babylon's capture, the earth will tremble. Its cry will resound among the nations. All right. So I'm not going to read Jeremiah 51. You could go and read the rest of the story. Now we're going to get into the news. Now, some of you all may have heard this story, right? It's getting real, family. It's getting real. All right. Russian forces confront British warship in Black Sea military encounter. Hold on, let me reshare this screen. Hold on 1 second. All right. All right. Russian forces confront British warship in Black Sea military encounter. All right. We got to have the advertisements, do we? Let's just do that. We ain't got to hear it. Even though I want to see that movie. I should have positioned that, but my bad.
Is going on and what the fallout might be.
Well, I think we're already beginning to see a little bit of the fallout. Britain's military attaché in Moscow was called into Moscow's defense ministry yesterday. The British ambassador in Moscow called into the foreign ministry today. what we are seeing is a sort of a diplomatic wrangling that, British government officials are saying what Russia is describing as happened, that Britain was shot at, and even an aircraft dropped a bomb in its path of HMS Defender. They're saying that's inaccurate. That's what Dominic Raab, the Foreign Secretary, has said, that this is predictably inaccurate, is how he described what Russia has said. But, we've now had quite a detailed explanation of the course of events from the British perspective, from the Secretary of State for Defence, Ben Wallace. And he describes this HMS Defender sailing through yesterday morning through what's seen as a corridor, a safe travel corridor that's internationally recognized, that's close to the border or the coast of Crimea, that's within Ukrainian territorial waters, and that was the shortest route for this ship, and it was going from Odessa in Ukraine to Georgia. So the British described this as an innocent passage, and 10 minutes into the sort of contested area, if you will, the Russian Coast Guard contacted it, said that there were live fire exercises going on nearby, and the British ship decided it wasn't in danger and continued. It was buzzed by Russian fighter jets, one coming as low as 500 feet, we're told. But where does this put both countries? It definitely puts them at odds over this stretch of water. But British Prime Minister Boris Johnson today said that really this was a point being made rather than trying to drive up an escalation. This is how he framed it.
All right, so I'm not going to worry about listening to what Boris says, but let's continue here. It says a British warship became embroiled in a confrontation with Russian forces off the coast of the disputed territory of Crimea on Wednesday. Russia says one of its warplanes dropped bombs and a patrol boat fired warning shots to turn back a British destroyer it claims entered into its territorial waters in the Black Sea. The UK Defense Ministry denied Moscow's accusations, saying that the vessel HMS Defender was making a legal and innocent passage. The BBC reporter on the ship said he witnessed the Russian warplanes and naval vessels buzzing in the destroyer. Russia said the ship went 3 kilometers, 1.9 miles inside Russian territory off Cape Fiolen in Crimea just before noon local time on Wednesday. A nation's territorial waters extend 12 nautical miles from its coastline. Any foreign warship going past that limit would need permission of the country to do so, with a few exceptions. Shortly after the British ship crossed the territorial boundary, an Su-24M attack jet dropped bombs, and a coastal patrol ship fired warning shots in front of the British destroyer, the Russian Defense Ministry said in a report from Russian state media TASS. So they dropped bombs in front of this ship, the HMS, what's the name of it? The HMS Defender, right? So they dropped bombs and they shot, guns at it, right, to tell them to turn back. Not until they dropped the bombs did the British turn around. Okay, so we say, okay, well, we've had these incidences before, it probably isn't going to go anywhere. Nothing's going to happen, right? But let's look at this. All right, so we know what happened, right? They did that. They provoked them. And now all of a sudden, there's a lot of other things going on. Now, what I want to show you is, okay, so we have that incident right there. And we have an article about, the cat and mouse game that's being played, right? So let's look at that. Okay, miscalculation in Russian cat and mouse game could lead to full-blown war, warns Army chief. A miscalculation in the cat and mouse game with Russia could lead to full-blown war, the head of the armed forces has warned after a tense confrontation in the Black Sea this week. General Sir Nick Carter, the chief of the defense staff, said the risk of an unwarranted escalation involving Britain was the thing that keeps me awake in bed at night. There was a standoff between Britain and Russia when a Royal Navy destroyer passed through a contested part of the Black Sea on Wednesday. Russia considers the waters to be its own after the annexation of Crimea in 2014, but it is recognized by Britain as sovereign Ukrainian territory. HMS Defender provoked Russian forces into firing warning shots and dropping 4 bombs close to the ship, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. But this claim is disputed by Downing Street. Well, just to let you know, Russia has released the video showing that they did drop bombs in front of them. So somebody's lying. Reflecting on the incident during a talk at the Chalky Valley History Festival, Sir Nick, who has pushed back his retirement to stay in post until the end of the year, said, "The thing that keeps me awake in bed at night is a miscalculation that comes from unwarranted escalation. The sort of thing we saw in the Black Sea on Wednesday is the sort of thing it could come from. It wouldn't have done on that occasion, but it's the type of thing one needs to think quite hard about." He had earlier claimed the standoff was an illustration of the battle of the narratives that can take place in modern warfare amid the rise of disinformation and fake news. That was brought vividly to life, I would suggest, by the incident of the Black Sea, which is causing great excitement in the media at the moment, he said. That is classically an example of a battle of the narratives, and the jury's out as to who won that battle. Okay, so we see that with this confrontation, it's a cat and mouse game. Who's gonna blink? Who's gonna blink first, or will they both slap each other in the head? That's the question. Now, so we see all of that happening, right? We see this confrontation happening with Russia, right? We see that any type of miscalculation can lead to world war. We see that Russia dropped bombs in front of the ship, right? Now, one thing before I continue on that topic, I want to show you what Russia was doing last week as well. Something's going on. Russian Navy and Air Force began major exercise in the Mediterranean Sea as supersonic interceptor planes join country's Black Sea fleet. So Russia has a Navy and have an exercise happening over here in the Mediterranean. Not only that, there were a Russian exercise happening right like 35 miles off the coast of Hawaii. So there was a Russian exercise happening 35 miles off the coast of Hawaii. So we have all this going on with also what's happening over by Russia in the Black Sea. Remember, the Jeremiah 50 said that the Most High set a trap for Babylon. This is the trap, in my opinion. On Friday morning, Russia's Navy kicked off a joint exercise in the Mediterranean Sea, where alongside the Air Force, it will conduct war games involving cruisers, frigates, and submarines from the country's Black Sea fleet. According to the Russian military, the exercise will include 5 ships, including the missile cruiser Moskva and 2 guided missile frigates, Admiral Essen and Admiral Makarov. The Moskva is the flagship of Russia's Black Sea fleet and was initially deployed by the Soviet Navy. In the 1990s, it underwent an extensive refit, and in 2000 was relaunched. The vessels will be accompanied by a pair of MiG-31K supersonic interceptor aircraft based at the Russian Heman Air Base in Syria. Exercises will take place in the eastern part of the Mediterranean Sea, where Britain's aircraft carrier HMS Queen Elizabeth is also engaging in war games. The British vessel is accompanied by surface warships, as well as a nuclear submarine and 2 supply ships. The ship is also carrying American F-35 combat aircraft. The latest training mission in the Mediterranean comes just 2 weeks after the Russian Navy launched large-scale military drills in the Central Pacific Ocean, involving around 20 surface warships, submarines, and support vessels. This mission, which took place around 4,000 kilometers away from the base, was aimed at practicing managing a large group of ships far from home. On Wednesday, the Russian Navy faced its most high-profile incident in some time when British destroyer HMS Defender violated the state border in the Black Sea near Crimea. According to Moscow, the Coast Guard fired warning shots to force the British ship to change course. London has denied this version of events, claiming no shots were fired. Well, like I said, Russia released the video of that happening. Okay, so we know who's lying, right? Somebody's lying. Let's put it that way, right? All right, so update. Update 3. Russia warns UK and US not to tempt fate in Black Sea. Russia warned Britain and the United States on Friday against tempting fate by sending warships to the Black Sea and said it would defend its borders using all possible means, including military force. In a statement broadcast on state television, the Defense Ministry said it was ill-advised for British and U.S. vessels to approach the coast of Crimea, a peninsula Moscow annexed from Ukraine in 2014. We call on the Pentagon and the British Navy, which are sending their warships into the Black Sea, not to tempt fate in vain, Major General Igor Konashevkov, the ministry's spokesperson, said. HMS Defender, a British destroyer that sailed through waters off Crimea on Wednesday, was not more than a target for the Black Sea Fleet's defenses, he said. Russia considers Crimea a part of its territory, but the peninsula is internationally recognized as part of Ukraine. Russia said on Wednesday it had fired warning shots and dropped bombs in the path of a British warship to chase it out of the Black Sea waters off the coast of Crimea. Britain rejected Russia's account of the incident. It said it believed any shots fired were a pre-announced Russian gunnery exercise and that no bombs had been dropped. It confirmed HMS Defender had sailed through what it said were waters belonging to Ukraine. The British embassy in Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia in the South Caucasus, wrote on Twitter on Friday that the HMS Defender was set to arrive in the port city of Batumi on the eastern coast of the Black Sea. Deputy Foreign Ministry Sergei said separately that Washington and London were sowing strife by failing to accept Crimea was part of Russia, and that Russia was ready to defend its borders using all means, including military force. Moscow warned Britain on Thursday that it would bomb British Navy vessels in the Black Sea if what it called provocative action by the British Navy were repeated off the Crimean coast. Let me repeat this. Moscow warned Britain on Thursday that it would bomb British naval vessels in the Black Sea if what it called provocative actions by the British Navy were repeated off the Crimean coast. So they're saying, if you repeat this, we're going to war. Russia's defense ministry said separately on Friday that it was beginning joint Navy and Air Force exercises in the Eastern Mediterranean. So we see here, right, just as I showed you before, that Russia is having joint Navy exercises in the Mediterranean, where Moscow operates an air base on Syria's coast. All right. Now, the question is this, family. Do you think Britain is going to back off? Do you think America is going to back off? Do you think NATO is going to back off? Is it just more wars and rumors of wars? Or is this the one that we expect to happen in Jeremiah chapter 50? Remember, the Bible gives us some signs. The Bible said that Babylon's waters will have a drought. Go to Google and search California drought, Midwest drought, Mideast droughts. I'm talking about here in the States. Do you think America does not want this thing to kick off? They do. America wants this thing because the 10 shall betray the whore. The 10 shall betray the whore and burn her with fire. No man will what? Buy her merchandise anymore. All right. So here's the final interesting piece here. Are we there? It's looking like it to me. We'll see what happens as time goes by. All right. This is from Navy.mil. This is a government site. U.S. Sixth Fleet announces Sea Breeze 2021 participation. June 21st, 2021, from U.S. Naval Forces, Europe, Africa, U.S. Sixth Fleet Public Affairs. The exercise is taking place on June 28th, that's Monday, to July 10th in the Black Sea region, and will focus on multiple warfare areas, including amphibious warfare, land maneuver warfare, diving operations, maritime interdiction operations, air defense, special operations integration, anti-submarine warfare, and search and rescue operations. I have a question, family. I have a question. Did not Moscow warn Britain on Thursday that it would bomb British naval vessels in the Black Sea if what it called provocative actions by the British Navy were repeated off the Crimean coast? Is Russia going to back down, or is Britain going to back down? Is Russia going to back down, or is the U.S. going to back down? Because in the previous article, Moscow said, look, don't try it again, else we're going to handle business. This year iteration was the largest number of participating nations in the exercise's history, with 32 countries from 6 continents providing 5,000 troops, 32 ships, 40 aircraft, and 18 special operations and dive teams scheduled to participate. Sounds like a war game scenario after you just been told not to come back. The United States is proud to partner with Ukraine in co-hosting the multinational maritime exercise Sea Breeze, which will help enhance interoperability and capabilities among participating nations, said Chargé d'Affaires Christina Givin, U.S. Embassy in Ukraine. We are committed to maintaining the safety and security of the Black Sea. It sounds like somebody messing with the hornet's nest. Beginning in 1997, Exercise Sea Breeze brings most Black Sea nations and NATO allies and partners together to train and operate with NATO members in pursuit of building increased capability. Sea Breeze 21 provides the opportunity for personnel of participating nations to engage in realistic maritime training to build experience and teamwork and strengthen our interoperability as we work toward mutual goals. Ukraine and U.S. are co-hosting the exercise in the Black Sea, with participation and support coming from 32 countries in total: Albania, Australia, Brazil, Bulgaria, Canada, Denmark, Egypt, Estonia, France, Georgia, Greece, Israel, Italy, Japan, Latvia, Lithuania, Moldova, Morocco, Norway, Pakistan, Poland, Romania, Senegal, Spain, South Korea, Sweden, Tunisia, Turkey, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, and the United States. I have a question. Do some of these nations make up the 10 that's going to betray Babylon? Because the 10 hates Babylon and they're going to burn her with fire. Is Babylon about to get betrayed? All at the time that Babylon seems to have a drought. Black Sea nations, in concert with NATO allies and partners, improve their ability to conduct the full range of naval and land operations by participating in exercises like Sea Breeze 2021. Exercise Sea Breeze is an annual multinational maritime exercise involving sea, land, air components, and is co-hosted by the United States and Ukraine to enhance interoperability and capability among participating forces in the Black Sea region. Didn't Russia just tell them don't come back? He just told Britain that. Is Russia going to blink? Who going to blink? U.S. Naval Forces, Europe, Africa, U.S. Sixth Fleet, headquartered in Naples, Italy, conducts full spectrum of joint and naval operations, often in concert with joint allied and interagency partners, in order to advance U.S. national interests and security and stability in Europe and Africa. So if y'all want to read that, I'm going to post it in the chat. So we know that Moscow warned Britain. Britain is a part of NATO. Now, all of a sudden, there's war games. But yet, Moscow warned Britain on Thursday that it would bomb British naval vessels in the Black Sea if what they call provocative action by the British Navy were repeated off the Crimean coast. Okay, so now Britain like, okay, well, look, y'all made us turn back. Well, I'm coming back with my boys. What y'all gonna do? We calling it an exercise. What you think? Who gonna if? Now, my understanding from Putin ain't nobody to play with. Putin isn't the kind of guy you want to go and if at. If you if at him, you best be ready to handle business. So Britain comes back with his allies in the same area, the Black Sea, after Moscow then warned Britain. Moscow then warned Britain, if you come back here and you try this again, watch out. Britain says, we coming back and we coming with our boys. What you gonna do? While Russia has exercises as well in the Mediterranean around the same time. And Russia just had exercises off the coast of Hawaii a week or two ago. Maybe nothing gonna happen. If I was a betting man, I wouldn't bet on nothing happening. All I can say is it looks like we're at that time. And remember, the scripture says during that time when she's being invaded, is when Israel leaves. I showed it to you. At the time she's being invaded is when Israel leaves. And Israel is going to go to Zion and look back and tell all the stories of what happened and how God intervened. Go read Jeremiah 50. See, y'all can go ahead waiting for that pre-trib rapture if you want to. There ain't no pre-trib rapture. The rapture itself, my brother's going to do a teaching on it. The rapture itself ain't nothing but the first resurrection. That was another lie by Eurocentric Christianity called the rapture. Oh, where the Bible says we're going to be caught out. Yeah, that's called the first resurrection. If you're waiting for it, you are deceived. I'm telling you what time it is. I guess we're going to see who's right. I guess we're going to see if America is truly Babylon. It sure look like a duck to me, family. Does it look like a duck to you? It sounds like it's quacking to me. It has webbed feet. It has a beak and it's white. It looked like a duck to me. Maybe it don't look like a duck to you. But see, once again, if you don't know who the people are, you don't know the prophecies. Because see, here's the thing. Harpazo, yes, it does mean rapture. It means to be caught up. I know all of that. But the teachings of the rapture, as they taught, whether pre, mid, or post, is wrong. The rapture ain't nothing but the first resurrection. Peace and blessings, Israel. Your captivity is ending. Love you with the love of the Messiah. Also, I want to thank all of you all who support this ministry, the patrons, the Cash App givers, and the Super Chat givers. Go ahead and share this video. And also, just to let you know, family, send up the prayers. Send up the prayers, because remember, I showed you only a remnant going. The Bible talks about those who escape the sword. All of Israel may not make it out of this battle, but those who escape the sword gets to leave. So it is what it is, family. You know, I say prepare, get a little extra food, extra water. It ain't going to be a long war, that's for sure. Because, I mean, you know, we talking nukes and major military. You know, it ain't going to be dragging on like World War I and II. It's going to be quick. So I would say just prepare, family. Love y'all with the love of the Messiah.